Hello everyone, this is Eagle and welcome back in Steel Division 2. We are still with the Soviet divisions and this time we are going to talk about the 9th Guard Cavalry. So the 9th Guard Cavalry is actually a mechanized division, and it's mentioned here that it is well equipped with light automatic and semi-automatic weapons. They call the infantry in this division is the Kuban Cossacks. And it's mentioned there that these units excelled in close combat fighting. It's also mentioned that the cavalry divisions in Red Army has a unique organization or a little bit different organization than the other divisions. The division here, as mentioned by Eugene, has some Lend-Lease equipment, mostly tanks like the Valentine light tanks and the MK, which is basically Sherman's M4A2s. It also has the Su-76 assault guns to support, as well as the Katyusha rocket launchers. And it has an OSNAS light amphibious battalion. Eugene says here that the 9th Guard Cavalry is strong in reconnaissance and infantry, and therefore the division is best used for ambushes and close quarter combat. That's what the game mentions about the 9th Guard Cavalry. However, I did my research on this division, and to be honest, there are lots of differences between what is implemented in this division and the reality. So just as a start, let's say that the 9th Guard Cavalry was part of the 4th Guard Cavalry Corps. It is represented in the game as an actual division, not like every time basically Eugene represent here the corps as a division. No, but this time they represented the actual division, which is the 9th Guard Cavalry. And as I said, it was part of the 4th Guard Cavalry Corps. So as we all know, cavalry means actually knights. And these are soldiers who actually ride horses. These were used broadly in the First World War, and even at the start of the World War II, it was still used mostly by the Polish army. However, with the modernization of the war and the appearance of vehicles, tanks, etc., most of these units were converted to actually mechanized corps. And this happened not only on the Soviet Union, but also in other allied countries. Anyway, the 9th Guard Cavalry was actually based on volunteers, which were mostly from the Cossacks people militia from the Soviet Kuban area. And those are the Kazakh soldiers, which we see later in the infantry tab. And according to my research and historical resources, the main tank bunch of this division was actually the 151 Tank Regiment, which was also based on the 151 Tank Brigade. And it was supposed to have lots of tanks which are actually missing in the implementation of this division, such as the OT-34 flamethrower. There was also supposed to be Stuarts, and I found sources that saying that there was supposed to be Tetrax, and I even found some sources that says there was supposed to be T-34-85. There was also light armor like the BA-64. And the most important thing that I found no evidence of Shermans in this division. I might be wrong, I might be right, but I couldn't find any source that says this division had Shermans. It did have Valentine tanks, but I couldn't find anything that says it has Shermans. Moreover, even the flag of the division is not as accurate as the actual one. The actual flag is actually shown on the thumbnail of this video. So I think the implementation of this division is missing lots of key units. So that's why I think this division is inaccurate. Anyway, let's move on and see how did we configure this division. Okay, everyone, this is the division, the 9th Guard Cavalry. So let me say that I didn't like playing with this division, to be honest. I didn't think it's unique, and it had really bad performance when I played with it, and I struggled a lot with it. The thing is, this division does not have good tanks. It might have some spam tanks like the Shermans, which would be mostly suited for spam. But other than this, even the infantry itself was not that great, even though the game says that this is mostly suited for close combat fight. But I couldn't see that, and I had struggled playing with it. But anyway, let's see what the division really has. So in the Recon tab, even though that the game says that this is a powerful division in Recon, it actually doesn't have that good units. So let's see, we have the Osnaz Sniperi, which are basically snipers of a strength of 4. And we have the Osnaz Sabiri, which I used in phase A. I also added this BA-20 armored car to support them, because this division also doesn't have fast light armor in the Recon tab. There is only the T-70 Razvedka, which I added, and we all know that the Valentine is very slow, super slow. And then we have this T-34 Razvedka as well. Other than these two infantry units, we have the Dozer, which is pretty weak, and we have this Kazaki Razvedka, which has a strength of 8, and it's good in close combat. But not too many choices to use in this division, or in this tab in particular. If we go to the infantry tab, we have the Kazaki, and they do have some semi-automatic rifles, but the thing is, their long range is pretty bad, and that is an issue which I have been facing for the last couple of divisions, especially the VDV, the last one which I played with. So, and then I added another card of Kazaki in phase A as well, and I added another card of the Kazaki BBSH, which can be used in close combat. And then we have this cool unit which called Osnaz, and they have the bazooka, so they are good in anti-tank as an AT unit. I added one commander, and then again a Kazaki close combat unit, and then Kazaki SVTs. And strange enough, we don't have too much Sabiris here, even though this is a close combat infantry division, but we do have only one card from the Sabiris, which I added in phase B. And then I added this Kazaki, which is very cheap, in phase C. Other than this, we have the Sabiris BBSH, very weak unit I don't like to take. The Osnaz already took one card of this and another commander, and then we have also another commander, the Osnaz Komroti. So not really much choices. The only thing I could do differently here is maybe remove this card and add it maybe in phase B or phase C or something like that. But other than this, there are not too much options. Also, it's worth to mention that the Kazaki unit has a strength of 8 and 9, so they are also not that great in terms of strength. But anyway, let's move to the tank tab. In the tank tab, mostly Shermans, and that's why I'm saying that this division will be better for spamming lots of Shermans. But other than this, the most powerful tank in this division would be the Valentine IX, which has frontal armor of 85 and a penetration of 115. Unlike the Sherman has the 100 millimeter, but it has a weak penetration for the main gun. And then we have the T-34-76. I did not use the Valentine. The thing with the Valentine that I hate, its speed. And we all know that Steel Division is a very fast-paced game. And you don't really have that much of time to have some tanks marching like turtles in the background while you are losing ground. So that's why I don't use the Valentine. I don't like it. Support tab. In the support tab, we don't have also lots of support guns. We only have this one card of the OB 2576 millimeter. And I added one card of the flamethrower team and one card of Kazaki Maxim. And of course one card of supply trucks. Other than this, nothing more. Very limited support tab. Anti-tank as well. I mean, you would guess in a division like this, you should have more anti-tanks because you don't actually have proper tanks and you don't have anti-tank infantry other than the OSNAs. And I mean, there is not much good weapons here to use against tanks. So I would have expected at least another card from the ZES2 57mm, but no, we don't have it. So very limited as well in anti-tank. Anti-air, we do have good anti-airs here, like the 37mm Zenart and also the 85mm Zenart as well, which can be used as an anti-tank weapon, a good anti-tank weapon. If we look to artillery, we do have some good artillery here. We have the Katyusha and we have some long-range artillery pieces. I choose to use the mobile artillery as well as the 120mm mortars, and of course I added one card of the off-map artillery here. Somebody might choose this as well, which is a 122mm howitzer, and it has really some really good accuracy here, and I think if we vet it, we might have 4 rounds per minute. So somebody might want to use this as well. I did not use it in my case. Moving to the air tab. So we have lots of choices when it comes to fighters in this division. So we have this LA7 Cozy Dub. I hope I got the name right. I'm not sure if I got it right. But anyway, it's pretty fast, but the problem with it is the availability. But if you use it in phase B, you can actually get good availability for this. In my case, I wanted to use a fighter which is in phase A. The lag also has more gun power because it has 2 more guns in the nose, actually 3 more guns, so that's why I used it. I added also one Tupolev 25, which has a 900 kilogram of bombs. That provides me with 2 bombers. And I added another one in phase B. And of course, I added this lag 3-4 tank busters. And as I said earlier before, that these are not performing very well currently in the game. They are really underperforming, but I had no other choice because I'm lacking lots of proper anti-tank weapons in this division. So I had to use something, and that's what I used. The other fighter bombers here are really expensive, and they are also very light, so they do not provide much value. We have this also, which is a light rocket plane, but I don't like the light rocket planes, so I prefer to use the heavy bombers. So also the air tab might be good in terms of dogfights, but or having fighters, but it's not that good in terms of everything else. We don't have too many choices of bombers, and the ones we do is are more expensive, and also we don't have other choices than the tank busters, which have rockets. But anyway, this is what we have, so we will have to work with what we have here. And that's all for this division. Let's see the next game and how did we use this configuration in an actual battle. So everyone, this is the game. I'm playing here with the 9th guard. My opponent is Tobaski. I'm playing with red color and he's playing with blue color. Let's see which side we should take. Okay, we'll take this side. So my opponent already started deploying. I also started deploying my units. So let's see how things goes. The thing with this map that it has lots of jungles and lots of forests, and it also has a city. I'm not a big fan of this map, but it is one of the new maps that Eugene released recently. So let's see how it will work out. It has some good places for ambushes, especially against a player who plays with a tank division. So Tobaski is playing with the Panzerlehr, and that is a very fast division, to be honest. I am also advancing fast. So fighting goes on the middle, and on here also I was able to quickly run to this side and destroying some of his units as well. Wow, he lost lots of units in this area. Wow, he lost most of his infantry in his in this area thanks to the Osnaz and the flamethrower team. Also, I was able to grab this flag. Here he was able to repel my attack. He has this Buma, which is, to be honest, very lethal because of its speed and its good gun. So fighting is going on the north and on the center. The Kazaki PBSH can actually destroy the pioneers. This Osnaz have good Panzer Shreks. Here he fell directly into my trap against the ZS-3 anti-tank. But he's bringing this grill, so the grill can actually do good work destroying these kind of anti-tank. In the middle we are in a stalemate here. He has more units though. and I'm trying to advance slowly in the south. He doesn't have much here to defend this area. So fighting still goes on the north. He's using the Grilli now, and he has 2 tanks, the Panzer IV and the Puma. So I started withdrawing this 376 millimeter. He's now starting to push in the center. But I have Sherman here, which is trying to flank his units. He does have a Panzerschreck team, though, coming this way. But the Sherman was able to easily pin them, because he did not see the Sherman coming. So I'm moving my units here, taking this flag, destroying the Puma. Things looks good for me right now. I have 13 flag and he has 11. The problem that he has lots of concentrated armor in this area. That's why I'm pushing one Sherman. But I'm not sure, the Sherman cannot really go head to head with the Panzer IV and the Puma at the same time. He's still firing here, but I pulled that gun away. Sherman here is doing good job flanking his units in this side. And here I was able to take that flag away from him. The problem with this jungle that you can sneak lots of forces from anywhere basically in this area. So that's why I'm trying to keep a line here, just to prevent any sneaking, but he's not trying to do any effort on this side. It's worth to mention that he's playing Vanguard, so he has lots of points. That's why he's bringing all these kind of tanks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we have 3 here, so that's 8 tanks. You also have recon unit coming, which I will be trying to destroy using the lag 3. He's trying again to advance to destroy the Sherman. The Sherman spot him. I'm not sure if he will be able to fire his bazooka. No, he got pinned down. His recon fighter went down. He brings another one. That's a big waste. These are actually very cheap. Wow, 20 points only. No wonder he keep just throwing them. He found the anti-tank gun and he destroys it. Now he's pushing hard on this side. The Tubolov is firing on his advancing infantry, trying to delay them a little bit. Again, he's gonna lose this recon. Yes. On the south, I'm advancing slowly, and I'm taking ground from him. In the center, he's concentrated lots of units, but he's pushing hard on this side. He lost his Puma thanks to this gun. That's great. I tried to push the Sherman from here to flank him, but the Panzer IV was able to take it down, unfortunately. So I'm relying on this gun to stop his advance here. 12 flag to 12 flag. He is putting all his effort now on the northern flank, while I'm pushing on the southern flank. And the center still in a stalemate, but he has lots of troops here, and he can actually overwhelm me if he chooses to push here. Remember, I don't have the same advantage as his income in phase A. Still trying to advance in the south, just to balance the lost flags here. So the Kazaki here found his commander, which is a big loss for him. But he was able to destroy the Kazaki, which is also a good thing. However, losing a commander is also a big waste. He's trying to push the pioneers, and once these pioneers get into the forest, it will be a very difficult job to destroy them. He also tried to do one push here, but the Osnat Sabiris are trying to make a difference. The problem with the Osnat Sabiri that they have very low strength, and as I mentioned, this division has only one card of Sabiris, so I had no choice but to bring these in phase A. So I'm relying heavily on the Osnat Sabiris and phase A for close combat. He's gonna destroy this BA-20. I think I got distracted. Yeah, I lost the tank. "12 flag to 12 flag. I'm pushing hard in the south, and he's pushing hard on the north. Center is still under control somehow. I feel I am about to lose this Sherman here. Yes. Too many tanks. To be honest, the situation here doesn't sound good for me. I think he has more troops on the ground. Keep losing these recon units though, and that's because they are so cheap. So it seems that he doesn't care at all about this. Advancing, more tanks, big bulk of tanks advancing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 tanks advancing at once. Trying to repel him in this side, but I don't have enough troops for close combat. No more Sabiris, and he now advances the Grilli to destroy this 45mm. The Sherman here is trying to do a difference and took down the Buma. 2 Shermans against 1 Buma and 1 Panzer IV. He also tried to push in the center, and now he's trying to retake the south. Fighting is on all fronts now. I think 2 Shermans can beat the Panzer IV. Yes, we got the Panzer IV. Now he's pulling back his Marder and he's pulling the Grilli. Most important is to destroy this Grilli. To be honest, the support or the assault tanks, call it assault guns in this game, are becoming really overpowered. They can destroy everything from far. So it's a good chance to destroy them. But the Marder here destroys one of the Shermans. And he loses his Marder. 13 flag to him, 12 to me, and that is thanks to the advance here. But I was able somehow to repel his attack now. As we entered phase B, I have more Sabiris. In the south, he has one Panzer IV here, but he's not advancing for some reason. I think he's not paying attention. But he was able to take these two flags, pushing some units here, and he is now pushing hard on this side. Lots of infantry and tank units. As we saw, this was pretty useless. Also lost side. He lost one of his Panzer IIIs here. And he lost the Boomer as well. Wow, the anti-air here is pretty powerful. I just lost two anti-tank planes. Big waste. Heavy fight in the center. He's trying to regain control here, but now I have too many units. I don't think he will be able to regain control. So that's why he's doing all his efforts now on the center and trying to retake the south. He has 14 flag though, and I have only 10. The Sherman will try to get this Panzer III. Let's say if it makes it. Very close. I think the Sherman can easily destroy it, yes. Panzer IV here is trying to take down the Maxim and the snipers in this forest, which were supporting this side and that side as well. They become annoying for him. My Sherman is looking for the Grilly. It's trying to advance. There is no real threat in the north, but in the center he has lots of advancing units. Again, he pushes another Hooker Wolf 58 recon plane. I don't know how many of these he has. I deployed anti-air anyway. Now he chooses again to finally to push the Boomer and the Panzer IV, which he had here, and he was able to repel my attack on the southern front. But it happened at the same time that I was able to repel his attack on the north. I lost the Sherman here. Not sure how did I lose this one. I think it was because of the Panzer IV. And I lost another Sherman in the center. He has lots of Boomer, and these Boomers are very reliable, to be honest. He has a really good tank, anti-tank weapon. I mean, the main gun has penetration of 100mm, and they are also super fast. So they are very good recon units. This is a really fast-paced game. And the reason for that the opponent was pushing using Vanguard, but I was able to break his advance in phase A, and now we are approaching almost the middle of or almost the near of the end of phase C. So he lost major opportunity to actually win the game. But he still has lots of units on the ground though. Putting some anti-tank guns here to counter all these tanks. And that's what I said actually about this map that it has lots of good places for ambush, so it makes it hard for a tank division to actually push. And I think that was one of the main reasons he chose this area. But then again, he got bugged in this area because still it has lots of jungles. Usually people who has tank division, they choose to push in the center, as they can support from here and push the infantry on the town as well. But anyway, that's how he chose to advance. So the center is still under control though. He lost another Boma. He lost lots of Boma in this game. Lots of light armor. This 57mm is about to make a good ambush. Advancing one Sherman here to destroy this light armor. So we lost the Sherman here again, but there are two Shermans coming from this side. And that's what also I said about this game. You can spam lots of Shermans, but if you face good tanks, you will actually might lose. This Panzer IV has a gun damage from the this 257mm. He's trying to push some units here, but he lost the initiative in the north. Most of the fighting goes in the south. I think at this point I can safely say that things have ended for him. I mean, he lost the momentum due to the Vanguard income. I now have the advantage in the income. This tank even has no ammo. And yeah, he actually realizes this, that the opportunity is lost. We entered phase C and things on the ground is not as good as they should be. So let's see the kills. He had actually even slightly more kills, so scores are almost the same. He did really good by pushing so hard at the beginning. I was able to regain the balance, and that's the problem with incomes like Maverick and Vanguard. They are pretty tough to encounter in phase A and phase B, but luckily I was able to regain control. So flamethrowers, Tubolov 2 is able to destroy some of his precious units here. The Kazaki PPSH also. I like what the Sherman did here, destroying lots of units. He lost lots of recon planes thanks to my air units. This support gun destroyed the Panzer IV and an SPW. Wow, this is this is fantastic for this support gun. That's something that you don't usually see. Wow, look at this Sherman destroying lots of Pumas and also Panzer IV and Panzer III and some armored vehicles. The Sherman is a hero of this game. Another Sherman destroying the Marder and one Puma. Lots of tank fight in this game, as we can see. Lots of losses in tanks and equipment on Tobaski side. So let's see our losses. Yeah, I would have guessed it. It's mostly also because of the light vehicles, the Puma, which get pushed, or they push fast at the beginning of the game, destroying lots of transports. So as we can see, this one destroyed lots of units actually. Panzer IV also destroying a Sherman. This Panzer IV destroying good anti-tanks. Other than this, I don't see anything unusual. So this was the game, everybody. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope to see you in future games.